Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel LiveLoveCrochet. So today we're going to be doing part 2 of this tutorial for the cardigan. So when I left you last time we were doing our length. So I have my length done now. I also have done an arm. So I have done the arm in 2 colours just to break the cardigan up a little bit. So if you would like to do it like this, I will show you how to change your colours. So we are going to be doing the ribbon now, so hopefully you didn't cut your yarn, so I'm going to show you how to do that now. So we're going to start with a chain 1, and then into this very first stitch here we're going to put a single crochet, to the next stitch a single crochet, into the next, and then you will see a chain 1 for your V-stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into that and make a single crochet, and then go into your next stitch and single crochet. Just keep going. So the only place you have to put in a single crochet into the chain 1 space is at your V-stitch, so I'll have to do another one over here as well. So I'm going to meet you back about there. So I am almost finished. Just come into the end of my row. I'm going to put that single crochet into my V-stitch. So there is my single crochet row done. So now what we're going to do is make our ribbon. So we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we're going to skip the first chain here, ignore the loop on the hook, skip your first chain and go into your second with a single crochet, into your third with a single crochet, into your fourth, and into the fifth, and you should be left with 4 single crochets. So now we want to slip stitch into the next 2 single crochets. So I'm just going to turn my work. So into the next 2 single crochets. So I'm going to slip stitch into this one here, and slip stitch into the next. I'm going to turn my work and put my yarn over like this. Now if you're not sure where your single crochets start and your slip stitches end, count from the top. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and this one will be the one where you need to start. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the back loop and make a single crochet. Into the next, go into the back loop only, make a single crochet until you get to the top, and then you're going to make chain 1, turn your work, ignoring that chain 1, go into your next stitch and make a single crochet, and then we want to slip stitch into the next two. So as you can see, this one here is taken. We've already slip stitched into that one, so we're going to move on to the next and the next. So slip stitch 1 and 2, turn your work, and if you need to, count back from the top 1, 2, 3 and 4, go into the back loop and make a single crochet. And this is all you have to do for your ribbon. And then turn, then into the back loop, single crochet, and I've just come to the end of my yarn, so I'm just going to turn off and just do a magic knot and I will be back. Okay, so I'm back and we're just going into our back loop, making single crochets, and then find your next 2 single crochets to slip stitch into. And turn your work. So that is all we have to do for the bottom part of your cardigan. So I'm going to carry on with mine, and I will meet you back just as I'm finishing up, just to show you how to finish the end of it. I'm almost finished with my ribbon. I have 2 stitches left, which is perfect. So I'm just going to single crochet down again, and then slip stitch into these last 2 single crochets, and then I'm going to turn and I'm going to go up for the last time. This is going to be my last row. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to cut my yarn. I'm just going to pull that loop out, tighten my knot. So that is my ribbon on the bottom finished, and as you can see here, it is straight. It ends up straight just like the other one because we didn't leave it on the bottom. We went and done another row up, because if we would have just left it there, it would have sloped a little bit and then it wouldn't have matched this side. So now what we're going to do are the buttonholes. So I'm going to be doing these in brown again. So I'm going to be starting on the right hand side, and we're going to start down at the bottom, and we're going to put our hook into the last stitch there, attach our yarn, pull through, make a single crochet, make a chain 1, sorry, and then make a single crochet into the same stitch with your chain. into the next single crochet. So that was the ribbon that I've just put single crochets into, just like that. And now we've got to find a place for our stitches. So try not to put your single crochets too close or too far away, just so it doesn't go tight or go too loose. So I'm just going to find a place for my single crochets, spread them out evenly. If you do notice your cardigan getting too tight, just take out your single crochets and try and spread them out a little more evenly. So you do need to be counting your single crochets just so you can match them with this side so they're both the same length. I am just going to count them when I have finished my row. So as you can see, I'm just putting one single crochet and mine isn't going tight or loose, so it's looking good. So here I'm just going to put one on the bottom and then one into the top there. So you keep going like this, don't forget to count, and I'll meet you at the top. Okay, so I have just finished that. I single crocheted right to the very top there. So now we're going to chain one and turn your cardie around, and then you're going to find your first stitch, your very first stitch, and put a single crochet into it. So I have 41 single crochets, so now I know that I've got to match it on the other side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up and down. So we're going to go down, that's one time, back up and back down. So we're going to do 3 more rows, and I will meet you when we have finished our third row. Well, it would be our fourth row. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I will meet you on the fourth. Okay, so I've just finished my fourth row of the button spaces. So let me just turn this the right way. So your work should now be closing up a little bit. So with this one as well, you're going to be putting 4 on as well. So then it should overlap. So let me just cut my yarn. So you should have chained one at the bottom and snip your yarn. Right, so now we're going to do the left side, and we're starting at the top. Slip knot. Right, now put your hook in the very top stitch that you can get. I think that's my top one, looks like it. Right, so I need 41 stitches. You may need a different amount. Right, so chain 1, single crochet. We're just going to do exactly what we just did, but this time we're adding buttonholes. So 1, 2, So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 rows of this. So we're going to do this down to the bottom, and then we're going to come back up, and then I'm going to meet you there so we can start our buttonholes. We're also going to need stitch markers, 4 stitch markers depending on how many buttons you are going to have on your cardigan. Okay, so I've done 2 rows. Now it's time to do our buttonholes, just where we want them. Got my stitch markers, nice in yellow, brown up the mood. So 1, 2, 3 maybe. 3 stitches in is going to be my bottom button. I think that's okay. We can always change it. Top. I'm going to have that second stitch down because we've got a little bit of a collar as well, so that's going to be fine. And then my other 2, I'm just going to guess, and then I'm going to count in between and then rearrange them. So I'm going to count in between, make sure all of them are equal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 in between that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In between that one, almost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. That is perfectly done. So that is just how you do it. Sometimes you have to move them around for ages, sometimes they're just in the perfect place. And that's how mine were today. So, after you've done that, I'm going to turn our work, and I'm going to put single crochet in the top stitch, and then I'm going to bump into my stitch marker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 2 because my buttons are probably going to fit. I don't have a button to hand at the moment, but no. Okay, so I have my button. I seem to be using these buttons a lot lately, but I am running out of buttons, so I need to restock on buttons fast. So I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to skip 2 stitches. So I'm going to skip the stitch from my stitch marker and the stitch after, and I'm going to single crochet into the next single crochet like that. And then I'm going to get my button and lovely fit. So you keep single crocheting down until you bump into your next stitch marker. So your buttons might be smaller or larger. So if you have a smaller button, maybe you want to chain 1, you would only then skip 1 stitch and go into the stitch after your stitch marker. If you want to chain 3, then you would skip 3 stitches and go into the 4th. Hope that makes sense, because we're not all going to be using the same size button, so everyone's going to be different. So right, I'm about to bump into my next stitch marker. Again, I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to skip 2, go into my 3rd, and then exactly the same all the way down, and I will meet you right down here. Okay, I'm at my bottom, my last stitch marker, so then I'm going to chain 2, and then skip 2, and that leaves me to make a single crochet into the last stitch there. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. So now I'm going to go into the first stitch, and then I am at my chain 2. You might have chain 1 or chain 3. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go into the chains, we're going to go underneath, and because I've got 2 chains, I'm going to make 2 single crochets. So that, and then go to your next stitch with a single crochet. Try not to miss any stitches. So it's looking a lot neater. And then we just keep going until we bump into our next chain 2 space. And I'm there, and I'm going to go in and make 2 single crochets. Okay, so that is all we're going to do for this row. I'm going to meet you at the top. Okay, so I'm at the top. I'm just going to put my last single crochet in. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to snip my yarn. Just like that, and that is your front done there. As you can see, it's come together now nicely. So now I think I'm going to show you how to do the arm, and I will be showing those of you who want to do it like this. It's totally your choice, optional. I was going to actually do this in one solid colour, but I thought it was a little bit boring, so I did 2. So yeah, I'll show you how to change colours when I get here. So I'm going to get the sleeve measurements. So you may need to do some decreasing. Luckily for me, mine was measuring perfect. But yours may not be at the right length. So here is, we're going to need sleeve length and armhole depth. So my armhole depth is 10 centimeters, mine was spot on, and my sleeve length is 16 centimeters. But again, I have the ribbon, so we have to do exactly what we did for the ribbon at the bottom, leave 3.5 centimeters. So that is 13.5 centimeters, I think. So that is 12.5 centimeters. So I'm going to crochet my sleeve down to 12.5 centimeters, and then we're going to do the ribbon. So once you've done your first sleeve, you don't really need to measure, you can just count how many rows you have done, and it just gets simpler once you have done one. Right, so I'm going to show you how to check your armhole depth. Put my measuring tape. Okay, so measuring in centimeters. So mine needs to be at 10 centimeters. I'm going to put my measuring tape in and measure, and it's perfect at 10 centimeters, if you can see that. Perfect. So if yours is not at your measurement, say you need 12 centimeters, you're going to, and you have, right, so say you have 12 centimeters to get to, but you have an armhole depth of 14. So then you're going to decrease every row until you get to that 12 centimeters. I'm going to show you how to decrease, even though I don't need to, I'm going to show you anyway. What I tend to do is one decrease on each row until I get to my measurement. So hopefully you'll be able to see once I show you now. Right, so I'm using my blue. So slip knot. Yeah, let me just put my sleeve so you can see it. Right, so if I remember correctly, I did one chain under my armhole, so I'm just going to find that chain right there. I'm going to attach my yarn, and I'm going to make a chain one and a double crochet. So chain one, I'm going to double crochet back into that space there. Okay. And then I'm going to double crochet into every space, and I need 32 stitches. So I've got 2, and 3, 4, so that's what we're going to do. So if you need to decrease, what I tend to do is I do my first stitch, and then I will make so I'll do my first stitch there, and then I will go into my next stitch and pull through 2, but leave it there, yarn over, go into my next space, pull through 2, and then pull through 3, and there is your decrease. And then I would go all the way around, and then on my next round I would do the same, make a decrease in this as we're going around this way, but I don't need any decreasing, so I'm going to take that out and just make double crochets. So that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and keep going, and I'm going to meet you back around here. Okay, so I am just finishing my round, and I have 2 more stitches. I'm currently at 30, I need 32, so I just need to find somewhere to put 2 more double crochets. So I'm going to put 1 here, and then I'm going to put one right here. So that's my 32, and then to finish up we're just going to find our first double crochet and slip stitch into it. Now at this point what you're going to do, if your armhole depth was too big, you're going to measure it again and you're going to see if you are now at the right size, and if you're not, you need to do another decrease on this round. So I don't need any decreasing, so I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to go into this stitch here. I'm going to skip this stitch right here where my chain one's coming out of, and I'm going to double crochet into the back of that, because the front one and the back are the same loop, the same stitch, so you only double crochet into that once. So if you're double crocheting into the front, don't double crochet into the back, otherwise you're going to increase your armhole. So I am going to put my double crochet into the back. So starting in my next stitch right here, I'm going to put a double crochet, and then I'm going to double crochet all around. If you need that decrease, make sure you put it in. You can put it in at the start, or you can put it in when you're finishing up your round. It is totally up to you. So I'm going to finish this round, and then I will meet you right here just as I'm finishing up. Okay, so I'm just finishing up here. So I've got 2 stitches left to go into. So one there, and then one right here where my chain one came out of. And then I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch that I did, chain one, turn. Again, I'm going to skip this stitch here, and I'm going to double crochet into the back of that stitch. So this is my last row for my colour. So the next row I'm going to show you how to do your colour change, and then I'm going to leave you to get to your length then. So I'm going to complete this row, and then I will meet you when I'm changing my colour. Okay, so I've just finished my 3rd row, and now we are ready to cut. So I've made a chain one, and I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving a little bit for a tail to sew in afterwards, just like that. Right, so I'm going to join back into my knot right here. I'm going to get my other yarn and make a slip knot, attach it on my hook, pull through, chain one, turn your work, and same as before, I'm going to go into my next stitch, and I'm going to double crochet into the back of that stitch. So double crochet, double crochet, and that is all you need to know for the sleeve. So what we're going to do now is I am on my 4th row. Here we have 1, 2, 3, there's my 4th row there. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more rows, and then there's my single crochet, and then we do the ribbon. So I will meet you back for this part right here, but you need to do the length of your sleeve, remembering that this is around about 3.5 centimeters. Just measure it. So okay, this one is measuring at 3 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the measurements, and then we're going to take 3 off your sleeve length so you can do your ribbon here. So I'm doing a 3 to 6 months minus 16 centimeters, so take away 3 is 13. That is how long the sleeve part needs to be. For 15 it's going to be 12 centimeters, and then you got 3 centimeters for the ribbon right here, and then so on. So I'm going to finish my sleeve length and I will meet you back here when I'm doing the single crochets. Okay, so I've just finished my sleeve length, and I'm going to show you how to do the ribbon on the sleeve. So okay, so I've chained 1 and turned my work. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start with a single crochet row. So with our single crochets, we're going to single crochet 1 and then single crochet 2 together. I'll show you now. So into your next stitch, so 1 single crochet. Next one, we're going to single crochet these 2 together. So go through your stitch, pick up 1 loop, go through your next stitch, catch your yarn and pull through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Into your next, you're going to make 1 single crochet by itself, and then into the next 2 we're going to single crochet those 2 together, just like that. And there we are at the end, and I have just single crocheted. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 1 more single crochet into my last stitch, just because I've got 2 single crochets together right there. So I'm going to put one more single crochet here, and then I'm going to slip stitch to my first stitch, and now we're going to start our ribbon. So we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We're going to skip the first stitch there, chain, sorry, into your second chain. We're going to make a single crochet. Going to make a single crochet all the way down. So you should have 4 single crochets. And then I'm going to slip stitch these into the next 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Then I'm going to turn my work back around, put my yarn in front just like that, and if you're having trouble, count from the top, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Crochet into the back loop, single crochet into the back loop only. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Chain 1, turn your work, and then back down into the back loop only, single crochet. So just exactly what you did for the bottom of your sweater, just going around the sleeve now. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the next 2. I'm going to leave this one alone because it's already been slip stitched into. So I'm going to find my next free one. Go into those 2. Going to turn my work, and exactly the same. Okay, so that is all we are going to do all the way around. So I will meet you back here when we're about to join it up. So I've just come around and I now have 2 stitches left, which is perfect. So I'm going to go back down. And then I'm going to slip stitch into my last 2 stitches right there. Going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut my yarn because I'm going to sew it. I'm going to sew it up. If you want to do it with your hook, you're more than welcome. Okay, so we just need to get our needle. So I'm just going to pull that tighter. Right, now all I'm going to do is I'm going to sew each side up there. So I'm just going to go into this one and 1, 2, 3 and 4 down into that one there. Just catching one strand of yarn off each side. And when I get to the top, I'm going to go through both of the loops. And then I'm going to go back into there. I'm going to leave a loop. I'm going to knot it right there. I'm going to go into it once. And I'm going to knot. And there it is sewn up. So that is now our sleeve done. So we're now going to move on to the collar. I've also sewn in my buttons, which makes it look even better. Just doing that. Looks so nice. It's so nice and soft as well. So yeah, the collar is just so easy. Just going to be a case of, I think, three rounds of single crochet. So we will get that done right now. So make a slip knot in your yarn. Get your hook, and we're going to join in the left side, right in the first stitch there. Put it through, chain one, then make a single crochet into the same stitch, and then we have these here which aren't really stitches, so you just go find a place to put your single crochet. And then I move on to the chain right here. This is the chain from the start. We're just going to go into those. So we're just putting one single crochet into every stitch. All the way around. So one into every stitch all the way around, and I will meet you back here. I've just reached the end, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put single crochet into this stitch here, just so we don't have this little bump at the start. So I'm going to put a single crochet into there. I'm going to chain one and turn my work. So then we're going to put a single crochet into the first single crochet and a single crochet into every stitch around. We're going to do this another 2 times, just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine off camera, and then when I come back I will show you how to sew in these tails, and then the cardigan will be finished. Okay, so I have just finished my collar. So I've chained one. I'm going to snip my yarn and I'm going to pull it out, and then I'm going to show you how to sew in your tails. Just get a needle. Okay, so I have a needle. I'm going to sew this one in first. So I'm just going to thread my yarn on. and I'm going to go into the inside of my sweater, and I'm just going to go through some stitches just like this. Just through, pull my yarn through, and then we're going to go back on ourselves. I'm going to pick up one loop away, just one loop, and then I'm going to come back through. And then I'm going to snip that. I'm also going to snip this one because I did my stitches over that. So then have one here. Just going to pull that through to the back, right there. Just going to get rid of this thread. Okay, so again, I'm going to thread my yarn, and then I'm going to find some stitches just to put my yarn in, just to go through. Should be okay. And then I'm going to come back through, set that, make sure I don't pull too tight, and then I'm going to show you on the arm. I left some here, so I've got my blue one here, so put it on your needle, and then again we're going to just find some stitches to pull your yarn through. And then come back on yourself. My yarn came off my needle. And then cut your yarn, just like that. And I'm going to show you this last one. So I'm just going to go through again. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest off camera. I think you get the gist of that now. So I'm going to do my ends, and then I will show you the finished cardigan sweater. Okay, so I've just finished sewing in my tails, and now the cardigan, the sweater is complete. and I'm very happy with the outcome. I really like this design. So I hope you've liked following along to this with me. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Thank you to everyone that subscribed to me. I really do appreciate it. I have just got my community tab as well. So if anybody completes one of my projects, if you would like, send me a picture of it in an email to my email address, which I will link down below, and I will put a picture on my community tab of your finished project. I think that would be very fun to do. I would love to see your finished projects anyway. So if you want to do that, it's just an option. I thought it would be a nice thing to do. So that is it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed making this, and I will see you in my next. Bye.